crashed it. They came back, and I think they won the race. Or no, they got runner-up, I believe, at the race. And then it started out with John at Pomona in qualifying, and then Brittany did her deal first round, and John at Phoenix. And, it's a tough deal. There's a lot of guys say that he should just about give up and this and that, because he's getting old and this and that. I'm here to tell you, a guy that's almost 70 years old, that he'll get up on that steering wheel and kick anybody's butt out there. So I don't think he's got any trouble driving.
Yeah. Then how old is Chris Karamessides now?
I believe he's 70. Oh, geez, I don't even know. He might. I can't remember, to be honest. He's probably 80, 81, something like that, right around in there.
Yeah, he's still going.
I just seen a deal that he had hip replacement surgery here just a little while back. So maybe it'll be a good chance for his daughter or his granddaughter to get in the top fuel car. It's hard to say,
Yeah, Krista. I had Krista do an interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you were talking about Snake and Mongoose, and those were the good old days of funny car racing, back when there was no sponsor, like big sponsor name on it. They all had their own name on the car and all that. Snake, Mongoose, Blue Max, Jungle Jim, all that.
Yeah. Exactly. It was, and that's what was kind of appealing to me about the nostalgia deal now was when it first started quite a few years ago, was there was a lot of old school car names coming out, Give credit to Cruz Pedregon. He brought back the California Charter deal. Stuff like that. There was a Paisano car a few years back. Some stuff like that. Jason Rupert does some stuff that him and his dad, Richard Bays, they always ran Littlefield. So that's back then. It was more of a. It's not so much. I mean, it is a family sport now, but not as much as it used to be. Back then, it was the wife and the kids, or just you and your wife went to the races, and you raced all weekend and hung out with your friends, and went home, went to work. And now it's just it's huge business now, and unfortunately, the racers created that themselves. I was in all that for quite a while and all that, and it got to be too much for me, financially and physically. It's hard.
No, yeah.
So that's what appeals to me about the nostalgia funny car racing, and there's a lot of, the biggest speculation is there's a lot of different rules throughout the country, so you kind of got to be choosy where you go. I believe that NHRA probably has the best rules package, minus a couple little things out of all of them. So we try to follow those rules, and you just try to pick and choose where you want to race and go have fun, and win.
Yeah. So now, who are the crew members of your car? It's a lot of my old friends, a couple of guys I used to work with, just been friends for years and years. One of the biggest helpers I have, biggest crew guys I have, is a guy by the name of Tim Huntoon. We just grew up together. Chad Lorenz is another one. I used to work with him. Javier Rowan, I worked with him. It's just a bunch of friends. Randy Remy. We've just known each other for just 25 years probably. And before I really started running a lot of national events, I just match raced, and that's the guys that always had helping me. It was fun back then. It wasn't as big of money as it is now. So it was just a bunch of friends out having fun, going fast, working on cars. And when I decided to do the nostalgia thing again a couple years ago, I wanted to have all the same guys back, and that had a lot to do with the decision to do it. Right. Now, do you have any sponsors for the car? We've got a lot of product sponsors. We just brought Lucas Oil on board this year as a product sponsor. My first time partnered with them. It's going to be a great partnership, great products. We have Randy Remy, which is one of my crew guys. He has a company called Visual Effects, does mobile window tinting here in Denver and throughout Colorado pretty much. And just a lot of stuff, Headman headers, I can't even name them all, MSD, we use MSD wires and stuff like that, Felpro gaskets, Champion spark plugs, just pretty much, not that I wouldn't like to have a decent money thing to help pay the bills and all that, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the nostalgia thing, and I tried to stay away from the big corporate part of it with the National Rent Car and all that. I got kind of burned out on all that with the money and the politics and all that, and that's what was appealing to me with the nostalgia car. I would definitely like to have a silent partner with a lot of money, but unfortunately that don't happen very often. But no, there's a lot of people that help us locally, friends and stuff like that.
Okay. Now, Keith, when you're getting ready for a weekend of drag racing, what goes into preparation for you to get the car ready?
Right now we won't race till about the middle of April right now because it's still fairly cool up here in Colorado, and it'll still snow a couple times and all that. But so we're just getting everything back from getting recertified. We have to get everything recertified every year. Anywhere from the chassis to seat belts to bell housings to supercharger blankets, engine diapers, anything safety-wise, driving equipment, everything gets recertified every year, and that's part of the sanctioned body rules. And so just a little bit of that. We try to do a little bit at a time so it doesn't all arrive at once because not all the crew guys live right around here, so it's hard for just one or two guys to do everything. And otherwise, just like freshening up blowers, restripping blowers, and getting cylinder heads ready, piston and rod racks, that type of stuff.
Okay, so now what are some of your favorite tracks to run on, Keith?
I'm partial to Bannerman, obviously, because I live here and everything, and I've always run good there. I've only a couple times I've had bad luck there, knock on wood. But I really like Las Vegas. I'm not sure about the 4-wide deal yet, but when I ran there with the big show car, that was when I made one of my quickest, fastest runs was there. So I've always liked it there. Banmere I like just because, obviously I live here, but it's just a beautiful racetrack with the mountain, and when it's green and everything in the summertime, there's no other racetrack like it, and the sound is just unbelievable. We used to race at Englishtown a lot back when we match raced. Unfortunately, that track's going away.
Right.
They're not going to race there anymore. That was an awesome place to race because the racetrack was always great. Just the atmosphere and everything was so different because they would always have a Wednesday night match race, and for people that have never been to Englishtown, there's like big fancy houses right around the racetrack. Could walk to the racetrack kind of deal. So they had curfews and all that. So it was just a different atmosphere and everything, but it was an awesome place to race. Lost a good friend in Scott Coletta there. Haven't been there since. Would have liked to go race there again, but unfortunately it's no more. So as far as the drag racing goes.
Right. Yeah, rest in peace, Englishtown. So now,
excuse me?
Oh, I'm saying rest in peace, Englishtown.
Yeah.
So now, Keith, do you prefer quarter mile or eighth mile?
Quarter mile, They won't. I never ran. I think I've run one 8-mile race before last year in my whole career driving, and didn't really. It was okay, you know. It was quite a few years ago. But so last year, a gentleman by the name of Chris Graves, he came up with the funny car chaos concept, and it's an 8-mile situation. Run what you bung, any kind of funny car, alcohol. You could probably even run a gas funny car there if you could run good enough. Fuel, alcohol, anything, and it's all 8-mile stuff. And it's actually it's kind of different. It's fun, but at the same time, that's just when these cars get going is at 8 miles. So it's kind of different. But that was the other thing with the nostalgia car was they still run quarter mile on all their regular races instead of 1,000 foot. And that's a big thing, you know, being old school and everything. That's what quarter mile drag racing was about. It was quarter mile, you know, not 1,000 foot. Mm-hmm. And but I totally understand why they went to 1,000 foot, and I'm not against it because the cars are extremely fast now, and they're heavier, they're harder to stop. So I can see both sides of it, you know.
Then, of course, you're coming back to Funny Car Chaos this year.
Yeah, he's put together 4 Funny Car Chaos races this year. We won't be attending the first one. It's next month, I believe, in Mocan, Kansas. We won't be attending that one, but the next one after that is in Amarillo, Texas, which is the 1st and 2nd of June, I believe. And then there's one in Illinois, and then the one in Texas again. And we'll be attending all 3 of those.
Yeah, I'm hoping me and the wife will make it out to the Central Dragway one in Illinois.
Yeah, that's actually, long story short, the gentleman that owns the racetrack in Illinois lives here in Denver, and he's a good friend of mine. So hopefully I got a little in there, and maybe I can win that one. No, he's a good guy. He's really excited to have a race like that at his track. He bought the racetrack, 5 years ago, I believe, something like that. And he's put a lot of time and money in it and everything, hired some good people to run it and everything. And again, there we'll just be running 8-mile. I believe it's a quarter-mile track regularly. Amarillo is a quarter-mile track, but we'll only be running 8-mile there for these events, for the Funny Car Chaos event. It just kind of evens out the playing field for everybody. You know, if you can go there with the alcohol funny car, nitro funny car. You can go there with the nostalgia nitro funny car, or if a John Force or one of them guys wanted to go run there, they could. So the 8-mile kind of tries to even it up a little bit, but it makes it fun. You know, it's a good time.
Right. So now, Keith, where do you get your fire suits from?
All my fire seat is from a company called Design 500. I got burned really bad in the funny car back in 2001, I believe it was. And when I was in the hospital in Salt Lake City, a guy over there that he is the original founder, or the guy that originally found the Carbon X material, and he introduced the material to me and all that. Since then, obviously, a lot of companies have it and everything. But it's the company that I use is called Design 500. They do a lot of Formula One suits for Formula One drivers, IndyCar drivers, stuff like that. And it's all Carbon X material. And all the other stuff I use is all Simpson stuff, boots, gloves, helmets, and all that stuff. Fire system on the car is all Firefox, I believe is what it is. These cars, you know, they're pretty regulated with the rules and all that as far as fire systems, stuff like that. We have an automatic shut-off system, and it automatically sets the fire bottles off if it catches fire and backfires a supercharger, stuff like that. So they're a pretty safe vehicle.